Welcome to xGameZones, hub to latest popular games, reviews, preview and news. A Knight's Quest, a game by Curve Digital and Sky9 Games, is at first glance a delightful action-adventure experience. The opening sequence gets you quickly hooked into the game and Rusty's adventures with a high-action set of events. Unfortunately, once you get a bit further into the game, a few issues hold it back from being a great experience. If you are ready to take on the role of an aspiring knight with questionable decision-making abilities, then A Knight's Quest may be the game for you. Overall, it is a good game with a lot of charm set in a generic world. Unfortunately, mediocre combat, at times mildly frustrating level design, and the odd in-game bug march what would otherwise be a great experience. Please subscribe in our YouTube channel and follow and like us on Facebook #xgamezones. Visit our site at www.xgamezones.com for more gaming review. A Knight's Quest. There is a couple of things you should keep in mind. First, for parts of this game, you will need to turn your brain off and just roll with it. You play Rusty, who has a metal arm and wears headphones to communicate with Viali. Because of a world-ending problem, Rusty creates, he is on a quest to find the legendary Spirit Knights. This is a fun, light-hearted adventure romp through a world that doesn't make a lot of sense. Second, if you are not a fan of at least some juvenile humor, then this may not be the game for you. For example, early on you find someone in an outhouse who is out of toilet paper and needs you to find him a cloak. With that out of the way, what does the game get right? While it did take me a bit to get used to, I ended up loving the art style. It reminds me of games from an earlier era. The in-game music was also a high point for me. I found it relaxing and enjoyable, which added even more to the charm of the game world. Just running around exploring the nooks for items and slimes. Yes, slime collecting is a thing and they sing. Even the distinctive twangy tune from the slimes was not annoying enough to stick in my head, on loop, but it is catchy enough that you will always notice when one is nearby. The sound effects of enemies were also a lot of fun in a goofy kind of way. I am very curious to know if the developers just sat around recording themselves to make the enemy sounds effects or if it was more carefully planned out. Movement in the game is great, platforming is responsive and the wall running works well. At times I found that the ledge grab animation was a bit off, but still acceptable. Once you get access to the grind boots for rail sliding, which takes some getting used to, it ends up being a lot of fun if you can get used to keeping your balance on the rail. Puzzles in the game are challenging at times but not impossible, so you always feel like progress is being made. A Knight's Quest is a good game and quite a bit of fun. If you are looking for a new platforming adventure with some humor and a lot of charm, it is a solid choice. Unfortunately, its mediocre combat, at times mildly frustrating level design, and the odd in-game bug march what would otherwise be a great experience. Movement in the game is great. Platforming is responsive and the wall running works well. At times I found that the ledge grab animation was a bit off, but still acceptable. Once you get access to the grind boots for rail sliding, which takes some getting used to, it ends up being a lot of fun if you can get used to keeping your balance on the rail. Puzzles in the game are challenging at times but not impossible, so you always feel like progress is being made. I have mixed feelings on the level design as well. Much of it is great and the jumping obstacles have been challenging. Traversing the world is fun but sometimes very confusing on what direction you are meant to be heading in. A system to provide the player with hints or an in-game directional arrow would be amazingly useful. Currently, all the player has for guidance is the map with a quest dot and an active quest dot on the compass. The map looks great but is not very detailed or helpful. There was also at least one point where I had no indicators on the map or compass, no active quest to click on for tracking in the log, and had to figure out where to go next to advance the story. I ran into a similar design issue with one or two quests. Early on in the game, when you pick up a mining quest, you are given a pickaxe with limited uses, but there is no indication of how or where you can get another one. I didn't run into very many bugs while playing, but the occasional one that did appear were glaring, like getting stuck on a bit of terrain for a minute or two. Also, you cannot save your progress manually, you need to reach a save point or transition to a new area. While the lack of manual saves doesn't bother me, I know for some players it may make a difference. If you have any comments or suggestion, feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe in our YouTube channel and follow and like us on Facebook #xGameZones. For more gaming review, visit our site at www.xgamezones.com. Don't forget to click the notification bell.